What's good again? Welcome back to another video with your boy Young Homie DC. So today's vibes is we reacting to a video titled CoryxKenshin's Manga is not very good.
It's not good, bud.
It's not good. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what's the video was about. We might watch the whole thing. We might not. This might go to YouTube. If it does, then appreciate a bit of zapping in. Let's get it.
About a year ago, YouTube sensation CoryxKenshin announced the release of his brand new series, Monsters We Make. If you're not really into Let's Play channels, you might not have heard of him. Cory is a massive gaming YouTuber with over 23 million subscribers, and he's been in the game for over 16 years now. A thing about Cory is that he's obviously a massive weeb. His entire online persona revolves around samurai, and he'd even go to school to learn Japanese. But following Volume 1's release, there was a giant dispute online on whether or not Monsters We Make could truly be considered an actual manga. The debate would get so intense that it overshadowed any substantial discussion about the volume itself. Comic, manga, graphic novel, the label doesn't really matter.
That's what I was about to say, bro. Like people overly, they're out here overly tweaking about for no reason, bro. For starters,
It's the same thing. It's a picture book with a couple of words.
graphic novel, a comic book, and a manga, basically the same thing, bro. The graphic novel is a little bit different though, because there's a lot more words than in comic books and etc. etc. But yeah.
What really matters is if the series was good or not. So, is Monsters We Make a good read?
Fuck no, baby!
Come on, man, you read the title. You knew what my answer was. I was originally going to let the series reach 5 volumes before review.
Cory, you gonna let him say that about you? You gonna let him say that about your artwork, Cory? Cory, you gonna let him say that about your artwork, huh? Oh my days, Cory, you gonna let him? You can't, bro, Cory, you can't stand for that, bro.
But you can't stand for that, bro. You put a lot of work into. You gonna let him talk? You gonna let him talk about your craft like that, cuz? Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I'm playing.
It so it could have a fair shot, but Cory has stated that he really wanted actual feedback on his project, and I felt like it was better to express my criticisms now for future improvement. It's already been a year since it was first released. What better time than now to release this video? I've noticed that the people who work on Monsters We Make comment on videos covering it, so there's a good possibility that they might stumble across my video, so I'm gonna tone down my usual snark and try to behave today. Since there's a 90% chance you haven't read a single chapter of Monsters We Make, I'll go ahead and break it down. Monsters We Make.
And I was a heavy CoryxKenshin fan. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not a manga dude, so there's a high chance I will not watch this or read it until it's animated.
Is set in a cyberpunk dystopian society in the year 2114. The city of New Eden is dominated by the imposing influence of Sonata. Sonata is a
wouldn't it be crazy if Monsters We Make ended up being like a cyberpunk type thing, and like it ended up getting a game and stuff before getting an anime or nothing? That would be crazy, bro. That would genuinely be crazy. And I could low-key see that happening, I'm not gonna lie.
A massive corporate conglomerate that controls essentially everything, from technology to pharmaceuticals to education and more. The reason why they operate everything is because 17 years ago, a darkness consumed the world and humanity fell into anarchy. People were probably going fucking buck wild, becoming uncivilized animals that only adhere to their own desires. The Sonata Corporation allegedly saved mankind and restored the world back to its original state. So everything's all fine and dandy now, right? Now there's these mutated humans called leakers lurking around, and they're blending into society. These newfound vermin are blatant threats to humanity, but luckily good old Sonata Co has just the right solution for this. Child soldiers. Honestly, I couldn't think of a better plan myself. It's foolproof. Sonata builds New Eden Academy. On the surface, it's just an ordinary school for exceptionally gifted students, but in actuality, it's a facility to recruit teenage soldiers for battle. Enter Jabari Booker, our main lead. He's a prodigy who gets accepted into New Eden Academy for his musical accolades. He's completely unaware of what's really going on at the school until there's a big reveal that he's being selected to fight on the front lines. Well, it would have been a big reveal if it wasn't obvious from the start. Jabari is supposed to be at this school for music, but the entrance exams he takes are all physical assessments. What music student has to take a fitness Grand Pacer test to get in? I don't think Beethoven was doing that shit. He didn't think it was a little strange that they were analyzing his physical capabilities. The only way the reader wouldn't have seen this coming was if they truly believed Sonata wasn't shady from page 1, which is impossible. You're telling me that the massive corporation that controls every aspect of your life is actually evil? Who would have seen that coming? You can see the twist coming from a mile away, making the story feel predictable, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but in this case it makes it hard for the story to form its own identity. Successful manga typically have some sort of hook to set them apart.
No, like JJK, for example, like we can go into JJK. JJK starts off like so left. You just see Yuji being a normal kid. It's sweet, it's funny, it's goofy. They're doing, Yes, you know that there's some spiritual stuff happening because he's in that club, right? But that's the only thing that hints to the spiritual aspect of the whole manga or show or whatever. And then you know, stuff starts going left, and then we start understanding that damn, this has a lot more than we think it has to. Then he eats the finger, and then Gojo comes in, and then the whole thing explodes, and you're like, what the hell is going on, bro? That's how you introduce somebody to your world, bro.
from their competitors. However, there is nothing here that will appeal to anyone who's
'Cause
accustomed
it's not bad that he's starting it off like this. Like, hear me out, Chad. Like, I know the CoryxKenshin D writers are gonna be on my case like they always are, but it's not that it's bad, bro. What is bad is they expecting so much from this dude when he's not like doing stuff like this normally. This is his first project, cuh.
to the dystopian cliches of this genre. To make up for this, you would have to write some really intriguing characters. But they don't. Jabari gets assigned to the Alpha team, where we meet our main cast. The Alpha team is by far the weakest aspect of the series. In storytelling, your main characters must be well defined and fleshed out. Your protagonists need to be dimensional in order to be believable. But the characters here feel a bit derivative and uninspired. Each team member appears to be based on an archetype rather than being fully developed. First impressions are a key defining moment for a character. A character can be instantly revered just by how they're introduced. So I was baffled by how they chose to introduce the leader, Liam. When Jabari is about to enter the school, Liam pops up and pushes him into oncoming traffic for some reason. Then he quote unquote saves his life and has the gall to say, "Was that my fault or yours?" Gee, I don't know, you tell me, pal. It's an interaction that's inconsistent with Liam's character at any other point in the series. He's usually your stoic and mysterious shonen deuterogonist. He doesn't exhibit this sort of behavior ever again, and it's odd. My biggest complaint about the guy is that we don't know much about his relationships and dynamics with the other teammates. He's the leader, you know? It would be nice to see him act as the pillar holding the team up. If he served as an inspiration to look up to for the other members, he would be a lot more endearing. But other than that, Liam's one of the very few characters that are given some depth. Volume 3 is dedicated to Liam and his sad anime backstory. We get some insight on how and why he's at New Eden. It's a whole lot more than what other characters get. Along with Liam, we're introduced to September. She's this sweet, empathetic gal that has a connection with nature. I have two problems with how she's written in the beginning. First is how she doesn't say a word about Liam's little prank in the beginning. I guess this is just something he does all the time. I also don't like how she clearly knows what Jabari is getting himself into, but she doesn't say a word. She gives vague warnings instead of just telling him straight up about the shit that goes down here. Ooh, something bad is gonna happen. There's nothing preventing her from telling him either. She just basically lets him get set up.
So there's a lot of loopholes in this story, basically, is what I'm hearing. And we know the CoryxKenshin fans that D-write him are gonna be mad when they see vids like this, but vids like this help Cory, bro. They help him, refine his craft, get better. Or you want him to always be making the same things? You want him never to get better? How would you feel if Cory never got better at making YouTube videos? You'd be tight, right? So then don't be tight when this is happening. Like, I know he's your idol, bro, but like sometimes y'all gotta genuinely let the dude get criticized so he can grow, bro. Genuinely, bro. That's all I be asking from the Corey Kenshin community, the samurais, bro. That's all I be asking from the samurais. Like, sometimes y'all need to allow Corey to get criticized, cause y'all don't allow that nigga to get any type of criticism. Like, allow him to get criticized so he can grow and be better, bro. Y'all would not be happy if he started off at some point and his videos stayed the same and they never got better. So then, what is the issue with everything else? Like, y'all just be all like holding him on a pedestal and not letting any constructive criticism reach him. Y'all go, nope. It has to go through us first, and it's like, damn, like the stuff could genuinely help this nigga make his story better. Like, genuinely.
Not exactly consistent with her considerate personality. The last thing I wanted to mention is her being Jabari's love interest. It's clear that they're going to develop romantic feelings for each other, and there could potentially be a proper romance here if they nurture their bond well. Allison is a rough and tough tomboy with an attitude. I know some of you niggas had your neurons activate as soon as you heard the word tomboy. Allison and September are supposed to be best friends, but it's not shown much. They don't interact as much as they should. In fact, I'm certain she interacts more with Jabari, and she is Jabari's #1 hater, to the point where it's damn near comical. She has an issue merely being around him. She can't stand his black ass.
Is it because I'm black?
In the first volume, it's hinted that she has like an abusive parent. And I can already assume that she was probably conditioned into having a hard-ass demeanor for her mother's approval. And I'm confident in this assumption because that's typically how this archetype plays out. During the first mission, she gets into a fight with Jabari, and it takes a while for anyone to interfere. Their comrade is trading blows with a guy they just met a few hours ago, but they don't immediately stop it. And it proves my point about the team not really having their connections firmly constructed. And then there's Han. Han is sort of just Han. His personality is fairly boring. He's meant to be like the quirky, nerdy, comedic relief type character, but unfortunately he doesn't have the wit or charm for that character type, so he ends up coming off as a dork. Like his little robot machines are named after Minions characters. I kind of want to shove him into a locker for that. Sometimes they try too hard to make him appear funny when he's not. You have to be a bit careful when writing a character like this, or else the audience may perceive them as cringe. You have to make sure the person writing his lines is naturally funny and charismatic themselves. I feel like his character would be executed a lot better that way. Lastly, we have Jabari himself. His years as a musical savant has given him an enormous ego. He's got the exaggerated swagger of a black teen, and his cockiness can be annoying sometimes. But I'm sure that's an intentional character flaw, and he'll most likely have an arc to learn some humility. My biggest issue with Jabari is that he's way too OP for a newbie. Each member of the team has these super suits. Jabari doesn't get any training or tutorial on how to use the suits, and he's already blasting monsters away when he first appears in one. Even he doesn't know how he's doing that shit. There's no real learning process for his abilities. He for some reason already knows how to fight with no prior experience. For comparison, that would be like Deku already knowing how to control One For All, or Naruto already knowing how to use the Rasengan. It's not rewarding to see him fight on the same level as people more experienced than him. It would be a whole...
So there was no character growth. He just came out the gate just going crazy. Like, even Yuji wasn't doing that, bro. Like, Yuji was OP. Like, he was like exceptional as compared to everybody else in this setting, right? And still is like, but he was getting whooped. Like Yuji was catching L's, and that's what makes it good, bro. That's what makes JJK good. Like he was struggling to grab the W's that he grabbed. He struggled to grab him, bro. Like he struggled. Teamwork was a part of it. Nigga was getting like brutally messed up. But now he's him. Like he's strongest in the verse. And I like stories like that, bro. It's not that we need to see you grind, but we need to see a little hiccup with the main character, like going into something. If you're gonna make something where their life is getting flipped upside down, they can't just be good off rip, bro. But if you're making a thing of they coming from another world, they can be good off rip. Or if you're making a thing of we're just tapping into their life, then it can be good. But this way, I get this nigga's viewpoints, bro, and I hope you get his viewpoints too, cause
lot more enticing for the audience if they were learning along with him. Jabari's the fish out of water, so it would make more sense if the reader were experiencing things vicariously through him. I hope they improve on writing him like that from here on out. I don't really like using the word generic. It feels like a vague criticism and it fails to articulate the real flaw. But here the word seems appropriate since the character writing is based on recognizable tropes. It's difficult to really analyze any of these characters outside of surface level observations because we don't know much about the main cast. We don't gain much knowledge on the group's dynamics and chemistry. The first mission could have been a perfect opportunity to focus on the main cast's motivations and reasonings for being here, but unfortunately most of the time isn't spent on this. The rest of the cast isn't much better. In fact, they're way worse. The second volume is centered around a tournament arc. The tournament arc introduces a bunch of nobodies that aren't really plot relevant.
dude, the tournament arcs are overplayed, cuz. Let's keep it 100. How many tournament arcs have you seen, cuz? I've seen so many to the point where I'm tired of seeing them, bro. Like, the tournament arcs are overplayed. We tired of seeing tournament after tournament after tournament after tournament after tournament after tournament in so many different animes, bro. Please stop. Please stop. Please.
Huh. That sounds familiar. They solely exist to showcase the different ability variations of the power system. The only notable characters are Rafe and Fane.
Gang, isn't this nigga a Christian, bro? I thought CoryxKenshin was overly about God. What was that symbol I saw in the back, bro? I hope that's not part of his manga. Chat. Y'all know what I'm saying when I say this. Like, I hope that Penta, whatever, I forgot what they call it, but whatever that stuff is, I hope that's not part of his manga, bro. Cause that goes.
Feels like Cory's attempt to have a Gaara-like character without fully understanding Gaara's main strengths. And Fane's a Disney Channel bully caricature. The artist even gave him the Chad meme haircut. You would think he was a gag character if he wasn't treated so seriously. I think some of the lines the characters deliver don't feel natural. The dialogue can sometimes be corny and juvenile. There were a few times where I found myself confused at what I just read. Cory is a funny dude, so I was super disappointed that there weren't any funny jokes. I guess it's because there's a difference between having a funny personality and being skilled enough to write funny jokes. The pacing in the story is far too fast. Cory runs into the amateur mistake of wanting to get to the enticing moments as quickly as possible, muddying a lot of the build-up. In order to receive a satisfying payoff, you have to put in the work to properly set things up. Jabari goes on his first mission in volume 1 and then gets into a tournament arc in the very next volume. That's like if Deku got One For All in volume 1 and then fought Todoroki the following volume. You're moving at such a fast rate to get to the high moments in aura. You gotta slow down a bit, buddy. Not every arc has to start and end within a single volume. It feels like you're fast forwarding to the good parts and not setting time to build the world and the characters within it. I don't think Cory and the other Cory have much professional writing experience. It seems like they base their storytelling on tropes and commonalities of whatever they read. I don't think they studied the craft of creating actualized characters in a cohesive narrative. I suggest touching up on the fundamentals and working towards perfecting your writing style. Despite all the sales numbers, there's not that many people talking about it. There's very little discussion about it in any manga spaces. Monsters we make should have a way bigger fan base, but a large portion of Cory's...
It's kind of like when somebody has an existing YouTube audience and they do something else. Like for example, you have an existing YouTube audience and you branch out into music. Your fan base is gonna rock with whatever you drop, right? Even if Corey Kenshin was to get into music right now, you'd see that he probably would have over 100,000 monthly listeners, regardless of whatever he's dropping. And that's exactly what's going on over here. There's people that genuinely like the manga, obviously, and then there's people that are just buying because it's Corey.
Fans just don't seem interested. And sure, some of it is out of spite because Cory keeps leaving to work on it, but after all the initial hype died down, people cared less and less with each installment. There's no active community. Like, the wiki is not even finished. You know it's bad when the wiki isn't even finished. I honestly don't think this manga comic novel would be selling well if Cory's name wasn't attached to it. The reality is that as a massive YouTuber, there will be tons of fans who will buy your product simply because you're associated with it. I myself
I just
wouldn't
said
be reading
that.
this stuff or making a video on it if Cory wasn't involved. And that's not to discredit his work. He still worked hard to get it made.
Real, bro. That's the only reason I watched this video. Like, I watched this video because I saw a video dissing Corey's work, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell is wrong with Corey's stuff? And now I'm looking into this, and I'm like, damn, like, if he's not lying and these are actually how the character the chapters are going, bro, then yeah, Corey,
It's just that
you gotta change some stuff.
most of the fanfare is revolved around you and not the actual product itself. Even the dedicated subreddit's top posts are focused on Cory or buying the book, but not what's inside of it. I saw that they did a fan art competition a while ago where the winners were canonically implemented into the story, and that was a really cool and fun way to build a genuine community.
Real.
I think they should do more stuff like that to bring people in. Despite
'Cause what they gotta do is branch the story off of Corey, bro, so they can actually just grow by itself and not grow underneath Corey's fan base. Because Corey's fan base is gonna rock with it, whatever, and not let people who genuinely want to read the book. And that's a little advice I have for Corey, bro. Corey, do more stuff to build the book's community, not siphon your community into the book. Cause your community, yeah, they might like the book, but it clearly seems that they just doing this for you, bro. They're doing it for you. Same way that other people clown people for being YouTube rappers. You're kind of being put into a position where you're a YouTube author. You know what I mean? Like a YouTube author. And you don't want to be in that position because then the fans just buy it, but there's no actual growth for the book itself. Like there's no actual growth for the community of the book.
all my grievances, I respect the dedication he put into this. Most other people would have given up by now. Cory is a good dude, and he's clearly passionate about this
Real,
stuff.
bro.
I support him and his endeavors. The team behind it is also very invested.
I'm proud
in
of
their
him,
work.
bro. I'm also
Even
proud
though
of
I
him.
think the series is a mediocre.
I'm proud of him for doing what he loves, bro. Because that's what the whole point of doing all this stuff is to do stuff to end up getting to your end goal, like end up doing the things that you really wanted to do.
It could have been way worse. Every other YouTuber manga is more of a gimmick for their brand. This one feels genuine. There's love put into it. I should be worried that there's a possibility Cory might see me shit all over his work, but I doubt it. He'll probably leave for another 9 months by the time this video's out. Typical blacks, am I right?
Appreciate everybody for zapping in. Like he said himself right there, sub up, sub up, sub up, sub up, sub up. If you seen this video, sub up. Appreciate everybody for zapping in. As always, love y'all the mostest. Keep God in your lives, little niggas, and safety.